Police management and the Director of Forensic Data Analysts appeared before the Standing Committee on Public Accounts in Parliament today. This comes after Forensic Data Analysts threatened to shut down the systems it provides to the Police and State Information Technology Agency if it doesn't get its payment. Well, SCOPA demanded that the National Police Commissioner sort out the mess concerning the multi-million rand suspect contracts with FDA. The company has made more than 400 million rand from SAPS alone. Chairman of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Themba Godi, joins us now. Good evening, Mr. Godi. Thanks very much for joining us. Well, first of all, let me ask why SCOPA isn't taking kindly to the FDA announcing that it would shut down systems if it doesn't get paid. What's wrong with that? If they have provided a service for which they are now not being paid.
Well, our concern was the fact that you have a service provider who threatens to shut the criminal justice system of the country, which means that the national security of the country, the sovereignty of the state, are in the hands of a single company, a single person. And we felt that the contractual arrangements that gave such powers to an individual or a company were seriously out of order and cannot be tolerated in any country save for a banana republic. So we felt that that arrangement is wrong. Secondly, our understanding was that the equipments that were being used had been procured by SAPS through SITA. And even if they have a maintenance contract, our understanding of maintenance is that SAPS operates the equipment, and then that company comes as and when it is necessary to come and maintain those equipments. But as things stood, it appeared as if SAPS was actually hiring those equipments out, and they remain the property of this company, which can shut them off any time that they wanted. Well, so that was our beef.
Well, parking the second issue, or the latter issue that you've spoken about for a second, and going back to the very first issue, isn't the problem here the fact that forensic data analysts were allowed to do this kind of work in the first instance? And why that was allowed? Isn't that what is at issue here?
No, very correct. Well, I was explaining the objective situation, that this is what we have. But of course, the fundamental question is who signed that contract and on what basis. But from what has so far come out, it is very clear. Firstly, some of the key people in FDA are former policemen, and some of their employees are former SITA employees. So these are people who know and understand the ins and outs of both SITA and the police, and they therefore took advantage of their knowledge to secure contracts to their advantage. And clearly, some of the key officials within SITA and the SAPS have certainly been in collusion with these people, had a corrupt relationship that ensured that this company would get contracts continuously, perpetually, and have arrangements that actually subordinated the interests of the state to the interests of this company.
Isn't that what needs to be probed, Mr. Godi, the evergreen contract that you're talking about and the allegations of collusion and corruption? In other words, instead of like really going for forensic data analysts, shouldn't you be going for the top brass of the police?
Well, Vuyo, FDA is the corruptor. So why should we leave them out? They are the ones who are greasing the palms of officials. They are the ones who are paying for officials to attend soccer matches in England. So we can't leave them out. Yes, of course, you are correct. That is the other aspect, but not the only aspect in terms of what must be investigated. Now, the police are going to get a report by the end of May for their part, which they will share with SCOPA. And as for SITA, SITA is going to get its own report by the end of June, which they are going to share with SCOPA. which is going to indicate to us who did what in this whole saga, so that when we deal with FDA, we deal with FDA together with the officials within SAPS. I'm sure you are aware that today we indicated the name of one police general who we accused of having received at least 3 payments amounting to close to R1 million, which were used to build the house of that official, which were paid by companies that are linked to FDA. So it takes 2 to tango. It's not FDA alone, and certainly not the officials alone.
Are you going to rely solely on the 2 reports, the reports of SAPS and the SETA? What else will you be doing over the next few weeks and months?
Look, you recall that our meeting today was actually the 3rd meeting within 6 months, where we are saying as SCOPA, we are going to walk this journey with the police and SETA until we are satisfied that the rogue elements within both SETA and the SAPS have been weeded out. So we need to be focused. And our focus right now, we had isolated the issues in November and early this year, late February, and we have said that these issues must be investigated, and those investigations are happening. And when those investigations are concluded, we want to know the content and to then agree on the action that must be taken. But as you are aware, there is a case of SETA officials financially supporting one Andre de Tuoit, a convicted Buremach terrorist, which case has already been handed over to the Hawks. So we'll also be looking at the work that the Hawks will be doing in investigating this matter. But as for now, we are focusing solely on the investigations that are being done by Werksmans at SETA and the internal forensic unit of the SAPS on this specific issue, so that we can bring it to conclusion and identify individuals and take them to task.
Are there no fundamental issues that you may have decided on already, even before the process you're talking about gets underway? Like, for example, whether or not these kinds of critical services should be outsourced at all?
No, very true, Vuyo. Look, what the FDA saga highlighted, and which we fundamentally disagreed with, and that's why we had this hearing today, is that the SAPS and SETA must be able to develop an in-house system that is owned by the state, because the police, on their shoulders rests the security of the state. And you can't have a situation where, as SETA indicated, their system, which carries the names and addresses of the president, the deputy president, cabinet ministers, and everybody else, can be in the hands of a third party. They can give them to enemies of our country, you know, like America, the European Union, and all that kind of stuff. So what has come through and what needs to be emphasized is the fact that we need to ensure that the systems within SAPS are customized in-house and are owned by the state, so that the information contained in them are in the hands of the state only and not third parties.